Hello, Astro community. Hello, Astro friend who is watching this video. This is Melanie with the weather for the coming week starting tomorrow, November 28th, and going until Monday, December 4th. December, it's coming. Yeah, so actually, I would like to start the weather week with today because today happened the Gemini Sag full moon in the morning, and it was more than a full moon. There was lots of mutable energy still swirling around tomorrow with the moon still in Gemini before she enters Cancer tomorrow, Tuesday evening. 10:54 p.m. Pacific. So yes, so much is up in the air. So much is quite a whirlwind of energy, right? I can show you that chart because it's really now time for integration of that full moon. We can't start the astro weather without the full moon. So here is her chart, her full moon birth chart. The moon in Gemini here, the sun and Mars in early Sagittarius, and Saturn in early Pisces right between them. So in other words, hope you can see it from this angle, so a T-square, right? You can see a T-square here with Saturn in the apex, yet there's another T-square to Lilith in Virgo. Okay, hope you see it again, right? Lilith in Virgo here. And in other words, it's not just one T-square, two T-squares. It's called a grand cross, a grand mutable cross, where all four corner points in mutable sign energy are activated. And so Lilith in Virgo, Sun, Mars in Sag, Saturn in Pisces, and the Moon in Gemini. What's going on with that? Lots of energies being stirred up, and it can go in circles. It can be a very agitated energy, especially from the full moon in Gemini. So much information, so many questions, so many doubts, so much communication, so much up in the air, so much that is controversial and even polarized. Gemini deals a lot with polarities, but that's not the end of the story. It's about alchemizing, bringing them together inside of you. The this and that, he said, she said, and basically it's about the inner yin and yang to bring those together into, in a way, right? The Gemini alchemy is also a fusion of yin yang into the phoenix. And Phoenix is also the point where the Sun and Mars is currently in the zodiac, from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Early Sagittarius, the Sun just entered Sag on the 22nd and Mars on the 24th of November. So there is also that quality of having come through deep processes energetically with our maybe our need to assert ourselves, to get what we want from the Mars perspective, but also from a physical energy. Maybe we have been stuck in a way, physically, but also emotionally, scorpionic, and maybe we're coming through something that we processed, and now we can understand what's been going on better from a perspective, from a different vantage point, and also from more spaciousness and more freedom. And then typically out of Scorpio into Sag, this is also where stories can be told. And yeah, so we can see in hindsight how this deep dark stuff had been also necessary, to get to the bottom of things that we might otherwise hide from ourselves even and avoid, right? So, but hopefully you've come through it. Nothing is currently in Scorpio. Venus will go into Scorpio though by the end of this Astro week, and I get to that later. But also what's been going on, building up to the full moon, feeding into the full moon, has been a square from the Sun to Saturn and from Mars to Saturn on the 23rd and 25th of November, shortly before they entered Sag. So there's been also this need to, the Sag side says, oh, I'm going this way. This is the direction. This is my path. This is what I believe in. This makes sense to me. This is my my trajectory. And then Pisces says, there's so much more. There's so many different ways and different stories and different avenues that can be taken, and ultimately they all lead to the same point. So there's no right or wrong here. It's all a journey. It's all happening in the unified field. It's all energy. It's the web of life, right? Pisces is the ultimate connectedness of everything, right? And so there could have been some conflict around all this, including even with Mercury in Sag squaring Neptune in Pisces. So double Sag Pisces activation. And that happened yesterday, the 27th, right on the, oh, sorry, today, the 27th, right on the full moon day. So there could have been additional mental confusion or going in circles or trying to convince somebody or yourself of something, and then it goes into the void, or not really seeing where things can be going. I had a client today who was talking about that as well. So some difficulty with direction and focus. And that can also be related to Mercury being coming into the pre-retro shadow. That started as well as Mercury has started to come to that point. I'm just trying to find here when that has been the pre-retro shadow. Did that start today? It started these days. It escapes me now too. Mercury Neptune. So actually it was yesterday, Sunday. So what does that mean, the pre-retro shadow? I always like to do a little bit of astro education to make this a bit more transparent. You have your own understanding if you have some basics about astrology. So pre-retro shadow is the phase when Mercury, so I demonstrate here, when Mercury has passed the point from which it will eventually, after the retro phase, go forward again. Mercury will go retro on December 12th, 13th, depending where you are on planet Earth, and back to until January 1st. So it will go retro from 8.5 degrees of Capricorn back to 2211. I believe that's the magic number, 2211, just verifying it. Yes, that's correct. 2211 Sagittarius on January 1st, New Year's. So, and that's the degree in Sagittarius that Mercury already passed yesterday. And now it goes forward and crosses over to Capricorn on December 1st, goes retro on December 12th, 13th, and then goes retro back to Sagittarius, back to 2211. From this point, it will go forward again on New Year's. So in the pre-retro shadow, phase that started yesterday and goes on this week, especially as Mercury is in Sag, we can have some premonitions about what could be up in the Mercury retro phase, what's going on with end of Sagittarius, right? That's the realm, and these are the themes. End of Sagittarius is double Sagittarius and is also close to the galactic center from the from Earth perspective, and so here is where ultimate trust is needed. As we're going through also a sense of darkness in terms of the unknown, right? And this is a time of the year before winter solstice when we are going through the dark rift in a way of the galactic center, where it is being said that there could be a black hole. So we might feel in a way, oh, I'm going through a tunnel here. I'm not sure how I come out on the other end. How can the light return? And what do you walk with when you are in the realm of the unknown and unknowable? In the Sagittarius image, there is also hermit with a lantern, and the lantern is the soul light, is the spirit light that sheds light on your path, but just a few steps ahead, right? So you don't see the whole, you don't have a whole beam of light, you just have this candle in your lantern. And that is also good spiritual practice. Not to know, not to be able to completely plan and know the outcome and have control in that regard. So it's all about really trusting the heart. When you are in your heart space, things open up, and you are also in a more trusting, more positive, more optimistic, more grateful place. This is a practice with this Mercury retro, Mercury pre-retro, and then eventually also retro in a Capricorn Sagittarius and forward again to Capricorn. So the full moon has also Lilith attached. Not many astrologers talk about Lilith. Here is Lilith, very prominent in the full moon in early Virgo. So this is also a direction we could take, or also a component that wants to come into this picture that might feel at this point like just a whirlwind of energy, and needs to be directed but also surrendered to. So what does Lilith in Virgo add to it? It is the quality of being in your temple, being your temple of integrity that has to do with health, with wellness, with your lifestyle, and being discerning, knowing what works for you, and being very clear about that, and not letting something in that is not really good for you. And that can have to do with information from the Gemini perspective, or it can have to do with agendas, beliefs, stories from a Sagittarius perspective, or it can have to do also from a Pisces perspective, with Saturn opposite Lilith, can have to do with energies, vibrations that are not really conducive for you, toxic energies, or anything that influences you too much, so you get confused and overwhelmed. So yeah, Lilith is very helpful here. She is known to be the wild woman archetype, and wild woman, it's kind of a stereotype, right? I wouldn't necessarily go by, it's kind of a label. It has to do with being in your unconditioned nature. In that regard, wild before you were conditioned and domesticated in that regard, right? By society, by family and such, right? Can we undo this? Can we can we do this? Can we undo this? Lilith in Virgo, to be more attuned to what really is healthy and good for us, and from which place we can also be of better service. So yeah, so a lot going on with that full moon, and it's a lot about being in the heart space and in integrity and alchemizing. Gemini is also an alchemist, right? Alchemizing division and polarity, and that can have to do with the outer, where we feel we're in a polarized world, especially news-wise and communication-wise lately or in the last years, and also in ourselves, right? When there's a division between us, between the inner masculine and feminine, between need for comfort, need for adventure, all sorts of contrasts that come up with Gemini, and how can we even let the two sides in us speak to each other, right? That would be also Gemini. Like, do a little journaling with some role play. What does this side say, and what does the other side say, and how can they actually come to a better understanding of each other, themselves, and maybe some productive process through this. Okay, so what's also going on this week, as I already alluded to, is Mercury will then out of Sagittarius go into Capricorn for the first time on December 1st until December 22nd. At that point, Mercury will be retrograde because it goes up to 8.5 degrees of Capricorn, as I said, on December 12th or 13th, depending where you are. And then from that place backwards, right, from early Capricorn backwards, out of Capricorn back into Sag from December 22nd on until February 13th, and then from February 13th until January 13th, sorry. So Mercury goes back into Sag and will be in Sag until January 13th. And then from January 13th till February 4th, it will do its second round of Capricorn, this time going fully through it, right? So this is the first phase with early Capricorn, and that starts on December 1st. And things are getting more grounded, maybe more serious too. It's the integrity point from Sagittarius Capricorn. It's about walking your talk, or actually implementing what you know, and being real, being grounded, and keeping things simple, especially in your mind, right? And it's a manifestation point, always from fire to earth, in this case Sagittarius Capricorn. So manifesting may be also what you visualized, what you conceptualized, what you have envisioned, right? So Capricorn, right? And yeah, as I said, keeping it simple and keeping the mind calm, and also with that whole process of Capricorn Sagittarius, a calm mind, a mind that is on target, but in a relaxed way, right? In a non-attached way. So knowing what your heart tells you and going with that. Then, yeah, I'm just in the process of writing this article for Mercury in Capricorn, and we'll post it, of course, also on social media, so on my Facebook page and on my Instagram page, which are also linked down below here in the video, so you can find both, and you can find also the blog articles for all the different astrology movements and themes that are up, different blog posts on my WordPress blog, and I link that also in the description. So yeah, and if you really appreciate this video, share it out, right? Like the video, share it out, subscribe, the usual things, right? then you get notified. And these Astro videos come out once a week on Monday, sometimes already on Sunday, sometimes it takes till Tuesday, but I aim for Monday. And what else is going on this week? Venus also makes a shift on December 4th into Scorpio. So the cusp from Libra to Scorpio, you can already see it here. Yeah, I should also mention this piece here. Venus is still in end of Libra and is actually connecting tomorrow with the South Node. You can see them already close to each other. And that will be before she enters Scorpio. So what's going on with the Venus South Node theme? That is actually the point end of Libra where we had the annular, also known as Ring of Fire solar eclipse on October 14th. So that eclipse brought up a lot. It was the first eclipse with Libra Aries dynamic in the nodes, which has been going on since mid-July and is on for 1.5 years. 1.5 years, yes. And so Libra energy that is draining us, where we lose energy if we engage in low vibrational Libran themes, is on the outflow in that regard, right? So there's definitely an adjustment for Libra, and also a new intake, new fresh energy that is very beneficial from the Aries side. So what's with that Libra side, where Venus is currently, right? So the Libra shadow is being on the fence and always seeing the two sides of any situation, of any choice. So choices can be really hard for that Libra quality that is so always trying to balance things out perfectly, but often it doesn't really work that way. It doesn't, it doesn't need to be like that either, right? And then stalling and being paralyzed, right? That can happen with Libra also because Libra is very strategic, implements a lot of different components and aspects and other people's interests as well, right? And end of Libra has a Gemini undertone. So there's also lots of communication, lots of back and forth that tries to find a beautiful, harmonious, balanced choice, right? But that can take forever, and that can even turn into a compromise, right? It's not always possible to do win-win, and also to stay on these nice, harmonious terms with everybody doesn't necessarily work, because what this time now also shows is where we actually have incompatibilities, and we need to outgrow also dynamics with choices we've made, and also with people in our lives where it's not really a good match anymore. It could have been before, but now, as we see, with more understanding from a Sag perspective and more and truthfulness, Sag, and also authenticity from the Aries side, that certain relationships have had that time, and certain choices also are not the right ones for us now anymore. And Aries says it's time for a new beginning. So what does Venus with the South Node then say? So Venus tries to again harmonize, and also likes to be liked, and attracts through charm, and even through strategy, and the shadow of that would be manipulation, and shadow would be also to, as I said, compromise, needing to be liked, needing to be keep things nice, and but check it out where that comes up for you and it's not authentic. It's actually somewhat fake, right? So the North Node in Aries, in the meantime, says follow your impulse, be true to yourself, be authentic, be courageous, step forward, just do even baby steps, but start new. And this is the North Node in Aries currently, and as you see, it's not far from Chiron. So Chiron and the North Node will be actually aligned on in early March 2024. I think it's March 2nd or something, or March 4th, 2024. So that is also a good medicine that's very healing, especially for early wounds we might have incurred around asserting ourselves. Aries is ruled by Mars, or being really authentic, because it could have been a strong imprint regarding, yeah, even survival needs to please, to adapt to others. Aries says it's time for us to be truly ourselves and also to be really in the now and stepping forward into the new, being fresh. So yeah, so this much for Libra, Aries, and then as I said, Venus actually leaves Libra, goes into Scorpio, goes over the tipping point from Libra to Scorpio, where choices are made and choices lead to change, and that will be on December 4th, and Venus will be in Scorpio until December 29th. So everybody with Scorpio energy has much more, there's much more draw, much more pull, or anything we have in Scorpio. Could be also a, so as I said, anybody with Scorpio energy could be also collective thing, like Pluto in Scorpio. 1984, if you're born between 1984 and 1995, you have Pluto in Scorpio. Or Neptune in Scorpio. That's people born end of 50s till 1970 or 71, I believe, right? So it's throughout the 1960s. We, including myself, have Neptune in Scorpio. And so all of these qualities in you attract, or you are attracted to them as well. So with Pluto in Scorpio, it will be themes of power. With Neptune in Scorpio, it's more like magic, mystery, right? So we are drawn to that, and we can attract from that place as well. Then, especially if you have personal planets in Scorpio, or the Sun, the Moon, the Ascendant, and Venus, Mercury, Mars, then you Venus in Scorpio definitely brings you new magnetism. Magnetic is really Venus in Scorpio, right? But it can also be pulled into certain dark, intriguing places and themes. It wants to bring, Venus in Scorpio wants you to go deeper, more into intimate experiences with life that touch your heart, touch your soul, and maybe really transform you. So that's why the motto I give Venus in Scorpio is like, how deep is your love? And so that starts on December 24th, December 4th, and goes all the way through the holidays. Then, yeah, that's it in terms of the planetary and integration of the full moon, planetary activations, and full moon integration. And now just in terms of the undertones, in terms of the decanates, we're still in the first 10 degrees of Sag until December 2nd. That is when the second decanate starts until December 12th. And the first decanate has an Aries undertone. The second will have a Leo undertone. So the Aries undertone with Sag is being the spark that ignites the heart. Could be through storytelling, through your energy that is really, really inviting and also enthusiastic, heartful, energetic, and yeah, that inspires trust, inspires love, ignites the heart. Then the second decanate from the 12th to the Okay, I was like 12, 2, 2, 2, 2. No, sorry, from the second to the 12th. Okay, got mixed up. So the second decade from December 2 until 12th is Leo undertone. So with Leo Sag, it's a lot about celebration, joy, and raising vibrations of yeah, basically again being in your true loving heart that is generous, that is joyful, and that has confidence and trust that the light returns and already anticipates that and celebrates that. And yeah, moon wise, yes, we're now in the just full moon phase, soon waning moon phase, and the moon is still in Gemini until tomorrow evening. So 28th in the evening, 10:54 p.m. Pacific, the moon enters her own abode of Cancer, and I call that the nesting point. And this is also where thinking, all the information that's been swirling around, uh, shifts into feeling, right? So also it's a lot about care rather than more communication, right? So do we really care, and how do we express that, and how do we self-care? How do we nurture ourselves and others, and being attentive to needs and being attuned and sensitive to feelings? Then the moon will go into Leo, so we'll be very Leo next weekend because it's the second decade, right, of Sag with Leo undertone and the moon in Leo. So that will be on, the moon goes into Leo on the 1st already of December at 8 a.m. Yeah, 8 a.m. 00. And all day Saturday and Sunday evening at 6, shortly before 8 p.m., the moon will enter Virgo. So the Leo moon weekend, wow, what a blast, right? That can be Leo moon, Sun in Sag, Mars in Sag, Mercury already in Capricorn, never mind. But a lot of inspiring energy, lot of fun, lots of good vibes, upbeat, and so on, right? Celebrate. And then on Sunday, the evening, the moon enters Virgo. We'll be there on Monday, the end of this Astro week, and also Tuesday still until Wednesday morning, the 6th of December. So that Virgo energy is also with the moon activating Lilith. So the energy becomes more grounded again, and of course also connection with Mercury in Capricorn, more grounded, more practical, more organizational, but also the Lilith component. Again, Lilith moon in Virgo, a lot about figuring out what really works well for you. And if other people might tell you, even authorities from the Mercury in Capricorn perspective, that you must do this, you should do this, no, you know yourself best. You know your body, you know your health and lifestyle, and not being rigid about it. Again, also being fluid and adaptable from Saturn in Pisces, right opposite, but at the same time, noticing what happens when you, are in a certain energy field, when you practice, when you're doing good things that that keep you in alignment, right? And be discerning about that. And that's it for the Astro Week. And I wish you well on this journey with lots of Sagittarius and now. And yeah, and take it easy on the outflowing full moon. Soon you will integrate, especially with Cancer. Take good Cancer moon. Take rest as needed, sleep, And yeah, be gentle and take good care. See you next time. Bye.